lights are out and you stumble in the dark. You kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just remember. Just remember. Just remember. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds. And when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just remember. Just remember. Just remember. Just remember.
After an absolutely stellar race last week at Auto Club Speedway, we come to Kentucky for round number 2. It is the Black Flag Photography 250 here at Kentucky Speedway in Sparta, Kentucky. Good evening, everybody. My name is Frank Marchese. Thank you very much for making us a part of your evening. Alongside me, my broadcast partner, who's doing about 10 different things right now, is Greg McConey. Greg,
I'm trying, buddy.
Greg, it was an incredible race at Auto Club last week. The big track, the big wide track, provided a lot of close action all throughout the field. Tonight, it's a little bit shorter, but especially in turns 3 and 4, it is just as wide. It's going to create a lot of excitement.
Oh, for sure. This track, I love this place, and it allows for multi-groove racing. The guys were talking about the setup and all that they had in this car. It's racy, it's fast. It does have aspects of being a driver's setup, meaning based on how you drive, it's going to change the handling of the car. But just like last week at Auto Club, the draft is going to be huge. So you're going to have to watch that, watch your runs coming up on guys, watch where your car sits. And we saw it in practice, Frank. The wrecks are just as big as they were last week.
Absolutely. We've had a couple of big incidents here tonight already, and we're just in the practice session. We will get you to the point standings, both the driver and the team point standings here in just a moment, as we've got Let's see, we've got about 2.5 minutes left to go here in this practice session. Right now, the 77 of Chris Simard currently sits atop the pile. Lyle Swearington down in the 68. There he goes by the screen. He is currently the second fastest. Nate Siefker, Bentley Glazer, Reed Sweeney, the top 5 drivers on track. And you can tell the bottom line is going to be the preferred lane here tonight. But this racetrack is plenty wide enough where we could see 3, even 4 wide in some places.
Oh, we will. We're going to see that most of the night. You know, the leaders are going to get themselves out single file, which would be great for them. But if you're back in the pack, you better be ready for some 3, 4 wide racing all night long.
It's going to be a white knuckle kind of night as we take a look at last week's winner. That would be Chad Simpson. As Simpson coming away with a win about half a tenth of a second over Nate Siefker. And again, that is huge, with both Simpson and Siefker finishing tied atop the point standings last year at the end of Season 4, wins being the big decider for Simpson to draw first blood this season. That is absolutely massive.
Oh, yeah. When you know going into the season, you win race 1, it takes a massive pressure off your back. But like we talked on last week, Tony, these guys don't do I call it the traditional NASCAR playoff format now. They do the IndyCar format, which is great. You get a win. It doesn't lock you. There's no playoff bubble, I guess you'd say, where you're locked in. You have to race hard all season long if you're going to have any shot at winning the title. And certainly last week's winner, Simpson, did just that. He kind of gets a little sigh of relief knowing that going into here, hey, I'm in a good spot, but it doesn't mean you get to crack the throttle at all. You know, you're still full throttle every single lap.
So we get set now to go into the qualifying session here. A couple of guys making their season debut here tonight. The 55 of Ronnie Osmer being one of those guys. The 89 of Yari Brupatcher being another, guys that have been here from the very start. Nice to see them joining us here for tonight's race as we get set to jump on into the qualifying session here. 5-minute qualifying session. See how long SDK plays nice for us here. Both Simpson and Siefker are on pit lane. Jeffrey Bogan, Bentley Glazer. Mike Grandy, however, for Voodoo, is the first driver out onto the racing surface. Brett Beasley rolling as well, as is Jeffrey Bogan. So is the 7 of Nick Starling, the 77 of Chris Simard. All on track here at the moment, starting their first flyers, and there is one of the characteristics of this setup here tonight. It gets quite loose, especially on colder tires, and Grandy aborting his lap before he takes the green.
Yeah, but the advantage is that even if as long as you don't take the green yet, you still get another shot to go back around. So if you do, as long as you don't bend the car and put it in the wall, you're in a good spot. I'm watching Simard. He just tagged the wall coming out of 4 a little bit. You know, he was already coming to the line, so he doesn't get a chance to restart. But coming on this lap here, he should be good to go.
Nick Starling, the first and only thus far to set a time in the number 7. 24:90 was that first time. Chris Simard, as Greg had mentioned, invalidating the first lap with contact from the wall. Joe Brickey sets a time. Brett Beasley up to second on his second lap, and Chris Simard does not get a valid qualifying time in. So that one hurts, especially for the guy who was fastest in practice.
Oh, yeah. This isn't – can you make your moves and run to the front from the back? Yes. In this car where damage is so high and so easy to get, it's not the move I'd like to be making right now. But we'll see if he can do it. You know, Chris was fast before, and like we said, he was the fastest in practice tonight. He's going to be in a good spot, and we'll see if that car, that Indy car, will maintain speed all night long.
Michael Sturgill just about caught the wall coming out of turn 4 and swung way down to the inside. 24.87 as Lyle Swearington goes to the top in the 68.
There's a G, buddy.
Fastest of all thus far. 24.76 set by Ronnie Osmer. Again, as we had mentioned, making his season debut.
That's a heck of a way to start your season off.
Absolutely.
And Lyle just passing his...
Yep.
Just speak, Greg. Lyle passes him out.
I was doing it all morning for the Swedish race.
I didn't get to do vocal warm-ups before here.
Dan Brazington coming to the end of his second lap. Brazington third quickest. He'll better his time, but not his position. 24.79 for the 29. Chad Simpson crossing the line in fifth. Here's Chris Walker on his second lap. As Walker coming out of turn 4 down the tri-oval, and Walker goes from 11th on his first lap. Don't think he said, nope, slower on his second lap at 24.96. Here's Jeff Hollingsworth.
Butch Davis to the pole.
Yeah, Butch Davis to the point. Hollingsworth to second at a 24.74. Davis done on his second lap at 24.67. Bentley Glazer goes up to third. So he was furthest along. Nate Siefker on his second lap invalidated his first lap with wall contact in the number 1.
A lot of these guys right now are just out turning a few laps, trying to get a little bit of practice in. I think Jeffrey Roulette is not making an attempt. He's coming in for a pit. Dan Inch is out, though, going for a qualifying run, coming out of turn 2.
Siefker only managing 6th at a 24.79. Dan Inch, as you just mentioned, going through 3 and 4 now on his second lap. 13th quickest his first time through. 24.86 on his first lap. Second lap will be a 24.93. Yari Brupatcher in his season debut. 16th quickest. Tyler Vickery sets the lap time 24.84. As Reed Sweeney in the 19, the only car out on track right now. Chris Samar, Jeffrey Bogan, Sam Cooper Bennett, as that will be the end of the qualifying session. So it'll be Butch Davis who will start on pole here for tonight's race. But before we get into that, let's take a look at the point standings coming into tonight. Chad Simpson, Nate Siefker, Butch Davis, Mike Grandy, Lyle Swearington up at the top, pretty much in order of the way they finished last week at Auto Club. But again, Simpson and Siefker right up at the top, picking up right where they left off last year.
Yeah, and those guys are going to be fast. We saw them really fast at Auto Club last week. Both those guys were up near the front and running the fastest laps all night long. But we'll be it'll be interesting to see Siefker especially having to run from the back. So he's going to be a guy that I'm going to have my eyes on all night long.
Absolutely. As we take a look through the rest of the drivers' standings, and now we've seen those, let's take a look now at the team championship standings coming into the race today. As you would imagine, with a first and third place finish, FBR Motorsports currently atop the team's championship. Voodoo Racing not that far behind, just a mere 4 points back. Then it's VSM, V-Speed only separated by 1. OGR, Commonwealth Motorsports, Atlas World Outlaws, Last Lap Motorsports, 3 Joker Racing, Black Tiger Racing, and PMG. Of the, I think, 18 teams that have signed up for this season, 11 participating, including the all-inclusive independent team drivers that have not picked up a team at all over the course of the off season. Before we go any further, we'd like to thank our title sponsor here tonight. That would be, if I can get into the right Discord chat so I can see the read, that would probably be very helpful. Black Flag Photography sponsoring tonight's race. If you want to see more about Black Flag Photography, that would be the company for the driver of the 39 tonight, Timothy Emanuele. Promoting the race here tonight, putting tonight's race on. If you want to see more, it's on Facebook at Black Flag Photography 39, and on Instagram at Black_Flag Photography on Instagram as well. So a couple places you can find where Timothy puts his stuff up. And thank you very much, Tim, for sponsoring tonight's race. As we once again go down to the racetrack, there is Mike Grandy. Again, we saw him get incredibly loose, and that's one of the things we were talking about as far as the drivers during the practice sessions getting this setup tuned in. This is effectively just the stock iRacing setup with a front wing change is really the only thing that they have done to this setup. It's created a lot of great racing, but it's also created a lot of loose running for these guys. A lot of these guys have been using a negative weight jacker to try to counterbalance what the package that the car has is doing.
Yeah, and that front wing change may not seem like a lot to the guys up here in the booth, but when you're behind the wheel, any little tweak on that front weight jacker does so much, and it is remarkable what just one or two little clicks will do to your car.
See guys getting pit road entry practice here for the race tonight. Now, it has been, if you've followed this series along with us in the past, they have mandated the pit access road at certain racetracks over the course of the life of this series. This is not one of the races where they will have to adhere to that rule. However, one of the things they do have to adhere to is they cannot cut the front, the tri-oval on the front straightaway. Now, that little bit where it does jut back out into the racetrack, that is okay. But to try to make a pass down there, going to the line and up to that little kick out, that will be out of bounds tonight.
Which is a little bit interesting because that, when you drive the Cup cars here or any NASCAR car, that banking, yes, it can get your car extremely loose, but it takes that little bit of time away. So it'll be interesting knowing that that's an out of bounds mark and seeing how these guys are going to compensate for all that.
We will see in just a moment as we get set to go to the grid here for tonight's race. And starting on the pole will be Butch Davis with the time of 24.671. Lyle Swearington by by just over a hundredth of a second will join his FBR Motorsports teammate on the outside of row number 1. Bentley Glazer and Jeff Hollingsworth, two OGR teammates, will make up row number 2 with Ronnie Osmer and Nate Siefker sitting in row 3. Dan Brazington and Nick Starling will make up row number 4 with Jake Walsh and Chad Simpson lining up in row number 5. Will Fletcher and Brett Beasley will make up row 6. Row 7 goes to Tyler Vickery and Dan Ench. And rounding out the top half of this 31-car field will be Mike Sturgill and Yari Brupatcher.
Chris Walker is starting in 17th tonight with Timothy Bates on his outside. Mike Grandy and Jeffrey Roulette make up row number 10. Row 11, Joe Bricky and Timothy Emanuele. We have in row 12, Chris Simard and Reed Sweeney. Mike Rigney and Mark McFadden make up row 13. Row 14, Carl Burke and Kevin O'Brien. 15, Jeffrey Bogan and Shane Loveridge. And rounding out your field tonight at 31, like Frank said, Sam Cooper Bennett will be starting from the 31st position.
And everyone from Simard all the way down to Sam Cooper Bennett will be starting via iRating, as they do if they do not set a time during qualifying. Weather conditions here tonight, we are just prior to the 8 o'clock hour here on this day. So 7:45. It's been a long day. 84 degree ambient temperature, 86 degree track temperature. So not as hot as it could be here at Kentucky, but certainly enough to mess with these guys with a loose condition.
Yeah, and as this track, I believe these guys are running progressive weather. Mm-hmm. Nope, constant weather.
There you go.
Dynamics, guys. So the track won't change too much as we fade into night, but it will certainly affect it slightly. You know, even with that dynamic sky change, you do see a little bit of grip change. And as these guys are up front here, getting ready to go, we're in for a show, Frank.
Absolutely. Rolling off for the first of 167 laps. Round number 2 for the Sim Racers Edge Series Season 5 is green. And already we're 3 wide in the middle as that Jeff Hollingsworth gets caught.
Yeah, these guys, the first 2 rows got out side by side, but everywhere from the 3rd row back is 3-4 wide as they come out of turn 2 and dive into turn 3. Whew, oh, man. 3 for some close racing.
3 wide, 4 abreast through the wide sweeping turns 3 and 4 here tonight. Butch Davis leads the first lap, but Lyle Swearington is right on his outside. Bentley Glazer there. Bentley Glazer in the 4 on the bottom right there as well.
Yeah, these guys are really putting on a show. Here comes Lyles trying to get to that outside of Butch. He's not going to get there. He actually has to check up really bad. Lets Bentley Glazer get to him. But these guys are going to be fighting all night long to get that right front in clean air. Because if you can do that, that car handles so much better. Big slide from Bentley Glazer. Now they're going to swap position. Bentley to the outside, Lyle to the inside. Looked like somebody may have tagged the wall there. Was that Nate?
Might have been. Now, Nate Siefker has been falling back.
No, it was Ronnie.
Sorry, I saw Nate Siefker falling back. He's slowed that up down to 6th now. Ronnie Osmer finds himself on the outside line in the number 55, and now we're starting to see everything sort of get evened out now as Jeff Hollingsworth takes a big dive to the inside, looking for position on Ronnie Osmer, and especially with the race-ending incident that Hollingsworth had at Auto Club very early on last week, finishing last, certainly did not help himself looking for redemption here tonight.
No, absolutely. And right now, he's just got to be thinking, get laps in, get points, get myself into a spot where I can really, make something happen. So where he's at right now, running 2 wide, is going to be great for now, but he's got to get that car single filed out because they're losing time to that lead group.
Could not get the move done on Ronnie Osmer. Falls into the clutches of Nate Siefker as Butch Davis now under pressure from Hollingsworth's teammate Bentley Glazer, and that's
in the Oh no!
Oh, big hit!
And the curse is real.
Jeff Hollingsworth, we were just saying, needed a good run here today. And
commentator curse has struck another.
It was Will Fletcher also. Will Fletcher, I believe, making second start of the season. As we'll take a look and see what happened here between the 28 and the 97. Ooh, contact from Nate Siefker sent him into the fence, and that was just the line that Fletcher was running.
Yeah, and Nate drifted up a little bit. Jeff was coming down a little bit. And it was just this littlest bit of contact between the two. But, in these cars where they're so aerodynamically dependent, if you get a little bit squirrely, you're in trouble.
Saw that from on board. 28 of Will Fletcher. Now we'll take a look and see from the 3-time champ's point of view. Just pushed up a little bit. He had to save the car as well, and you could see the big hit in the back as Fletcher just had nowhere to go. And at that point in the corner, there's really nothing you can do.
No, you can't. And like I said, the arrow is huge, and any little bit of side draft or any little bit that your nose is behind somebody else, it just takes all the downforce off of that front end, and you start sliding.
There's been an intense start here to this race, and some of the guys towards the middle and the back of the field have come down pit road just to top off with fuel. Yari Brupatcher being the first of the drivers that came down. Michael Sturgill, Tyler Vickery, Timothy Emanuele, Chris Samard, Shane Loveridge, Sam Cooper-Bennett, Mike Ridgely, Carl Burke, and Kevin O'Brien.
And you might as well. If you're riding around in the back right now, these guys have unlimited tires. Why not take advantage of some fresh rubber? You know, we're early on in this race still, but even 5 laps on a set of tires, especially back in the pack, it's going to make a major difference.
Absolutely. There is Timothy Emanuele. Again, the sponsor for today's race. Thank you very much again for sponsoring tonight's event. As there you see the information where you can find Timothy Emanuele and his Black Flag photography. Made it through the first incident, and that's probably the most important part at this point.
Yeah, I mean, the key tonight is just survival right now. We're early on in the race. Just keep yourself in a good spot. Keep the car going forward. Gain positions wherever you can. And especially on restarts like we're getting ready to have, with everybody being single file, the opportunity to get positions is huge.
Absolutely is. As Butch Davis on the outside line, defending away from Bentley Glazer on the restart. As you will see all season long on all of the ovals, a great start for Butch Davis. We are off and running. Geico Restart Zone not in effect if this is your first time watching. It is go
Nate,
at
go ahead.
It is go at leader's discretion, and it really has the tendency to jumble these starts out as Chris Walker gets stuck on the outside line.
Yeah, Nate Siefker kind of had to check up and had a big checkup there on that restart, backed up that whole back half of the field from fifth on back. But he's able to catch back up right now thanks to the draft that's going on. You know, I'm watching right now Mike Grandy, Jeff Roulette. Both of those guys are up 8. But our biggest mover is Jeffrey Bogan, up 12 positions right now, currently in 17th. You know, up 12 right now. He's just got to keep marching forward, doing what he's doing. I like the line that he's running. He's not necessarily rolling the bottom. He's gaining whatever speed he can off this outside, and he's doing a great job making passes. Gets real close there between him and Dan Inch. See if he's able to make the passes that come off at turn 2. Oh, no!
Boy, he did a little bit more. Contact into the wall.
I just need to stop talking to people. I swear.
Jeffrey Bogan.
Jeez.
Everyone stays straight, at least for the moment. Caution does not fly as Bogan finds himself in a bad spot. There is the, I believe that's the side panel for that car still out on track that Bentley Glazer just ran through as Lyle Swearington looks to the outside as they now pass the stricken number 3.
Yeah, these guys were 2 and 3 wide up here in the front. They're still trying to go at it. As we see, who's at the 4th? Ronnie Osmond diving through the middle there.
Ronnie Osmer up the middle and now to the outside line on Nate Siefker.
We're really seeing this outside line come in. And as more and more drivers move up, it's going to get more and more grip up there from the tire wear, and these guys are going to be able to make bigger and bigger moves off this outside.
Able to keep that momentum up for sure on that outside line.
So we got a dive for the lead from Butch Davis and Lau Swearingen. Lau gets underneath. See if he's able to make the slide job coming up on Butch, as he's not able to, but he will lead at the line.
I've been doing it again. Lyle Swearingen. It's Lyle Swearingen. There it is.
I was giving you another few times to catch it.
As Osmer, I heard you really enunciate, and I'm like, no, it did. Did it save it? It did, on the overlay at least. As Osmer looks to the outside. Not quite able to make a move just yet. Butch Davis as far back as he's been all night in third.
Osmer's going to be able to make a move here coming into 1 and 2. Maybe not, as here comes Butch Davis back with a huge run, trying to split the middle. Dives down to the bottom. And see if he's going to be able to make the slide job coming up here out of 4. Not clear. Just clear. Decides to hold it low as they come back across the line. Give the lap to Davis.
I swear to over Swearingen by less than what Chad Simpson won by last week. As Osmer now looks to the inside.
Big block from Davis.
Can't quite get the run. You were speaking about big movers earlier on, as there is Reed Sweeney. We were on board with him during qualifying, before qualifying ended. Reed Sweeney, the biggest mover of the race right now, plus 10 at the moment in that number 19, running in 14th spot. Shane Loveridge, also a big mover, plus 9 from his 30th place starting spot up to 21st. One of the two Aussies in the field. You're saying because you don't want to curse anyone, I know. Kevin O'Brien.
As we see the battle, big battle forming here in 6th place between Brazington, Beasley, and Simpson. These guys have been 3 wide. I saw them 3 wide coming out of 2. They've now taken it only to 2 wide. As up on the top is Beasley. Had to check a little bit out of 4, but he's going to maintain that run. And Simpson's going to try and get around Brazington on that outside as they go diving into turn 1.
Thank you to everyone watching on whatever platform you're watching on, whether it be YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch. So we are working round number 2 of Season 5 for Sim Racer's Edge, lap 21 of 167. Here from Kentucky tonight. Thank you very much to the series sponsor, Sim Motion, as well as Virtual Racing School. And tonight's race sponsor, Black Flag Photography, allowing us to bring you the action here tonight as Ronnie Osmer catches the wall in the middle of 3 and 4. And for those of you who have been with Sim Racer's Edge for quite a while, you know that is the line that Osmer's going to run. He will be up against that wall all night long.
And I think that's going to be the line that has the advantage. You know, the longer they run up there, you're going to start to see this black line form right around where we're seeing Swearingen run right now. You know, you're going to see guys really putting their right side tires in there, and they're going to gain such an advantage because you're able to drive the car so much deeper on entry. And if you can be side by side with the guy on the inside, you have the advantage on exit.
225 miles an hour diving into the corner. 190 is as low as Osmer will go as we ride just off of the right side pod. Gives you a really good glimpse as just to how close he is running up against that wall.
One thing I've noticed, Frank, is the advantage is to that outside line if you are side by side on exit. But if you're on entry, that bottom line I've seen be able to get ahead. Nobody's made the slide job yet, which we'll be seeing that about lap 160 or so when these guys really start to get aggressive. If you think this is aggressive now, folks, just wait.
Yeah, just wait.
Give it about another 140 laps, and then you're really going to see some fun.
Nick Starling in the number 7, making the pass on Jake Walsh. That would be for 9th. Just behind them, Mike Grandy, Timothy Bates. But that big wreck coming out of turn 4 last week at Auto Club. Back out on track, looking to do it again. Well, not that particular incident again, but looking for another win here in his Sim Racer's Edge career after collecting the first one in series history at Auto Club just about 2 calendar years ago. Reed Sweeney right there as well, plus 11. Leads continues to swap back and forth as FBR Motorsports continues to dominate out in front. Lyle Swearingen and Butch Davis battling side by side for the race lead. Nate Siefker giving plenty of room, about 0.3 of a second between Nate and the two cars battling side by side in front of him. Bentley Glazer still going side by side with Ronnie Osmer through 1 and 2 and down the back.
Yeah, and I don't think Siefker's necessarily riding there on purpose. I think with the way that Swearingen and Davis are weaving around, they're creating such a huge pocket of air there that it's really upsetting Siefker's car, and he's actually not able to get any closer, I think. Since he's locking himself to that bottom line, you know, he's having to crack the throttle just a hair on entry. And right now you see him searching. He's trying to stay up high, searching for that clean air on that right front so the car actually would want to turn for him.
Pit cycle is going to be coming up here fairly soon. Fuel stint is estimated to be around lap 38 to 42. Now we have had a caution to extend that a little bit. Let's see, boy, Ronnie Osmer right up against that wall as Bentley Glazer falls back to 5th. A little bit further behind, Chris Simard battling with Yari Brupatcher. This is for 15th between these two. Looking through the last lap times, over the last couple of laps, Simard has had the edge over Brupatcher. Actually, pardon me, the other way around. Brupatcher a little bit faster than Simard, but not by much.
No, and that really plays into the draft that these guys have, because right now, let's see, last time Simard was faster by what, 0.04 of a second,
just about,
and that's all due to the draft that they're getting, what line they're able to run, when they're able to make a move. But you know, we've seen a little bit of tire fall off, but in all honesty, it hasn't been too bad. Their best laps have been in, you know, for the leaders, the 24.6, low 24.7. And their last laps are in the 25.1s, 25.2s. So tire wear is going to be a challenge tonight. But I haven't seen fall off that I thought I would be seeing with the way these guys are throwing these cars around right now.
Battle for 23rd between Carl Burke, Timothy Emanuele, and Mike Ridgely. Emanuele looking to the inside of Burke, can't quite get the job done. Take a look a little bit further back up front. Chad Simpson holding off both Brett Beasley and Nick Starling. Beasley in the red, white, and blue, number 69. Starling in the yellow and black, number 7. The yellow, white, and black, number 29, belongs to Dan Brazington, currently running in 9th. Reed Sweeney still the biggest mover, plus 14 now, has gotten into the top 10.
Yeah, and he's just been steadily marching right now, and that's all I'm going to say before something else happens. I'm 2 for 2 tonight, Frank. I don't want to let that keep going up.
I know Sam is listening to the broadcast. What was Murray Walker's quote? I don't make predictions. I make premonitions that are immediately proven false, or something along those lines.
I don't know, but all right.
Chad Simpson and Brett Beasley still battling for 6th. The top 5 have broken away to the tune of about 1.2 seconds ahead of this little group, as Lyle Swearingen still continues to hound Butch Davis and vice versa. These two have not let each other go at all. Swapping the lead back and forth for the better part of the last 25 to 30 laps at this stage.
And we want to thank everybody in the live chat right now. I'm looking at the Facebook chat. Deborah, we appreciate that. Alan, Dan Brazington's father-in-law, he's watching tonight. Brazington right now sitting in 9th place, running right in this little group here of 4 or 5 drivers. He's kind of minding his time, and like we said, we're getting really close to pit stops coming through here soon.
Brett Beasley falling back a little bit there, now falling into the clutches of Reed Sweeney. Pit window should be opening here in the next couple of laps. There were a good amount of cars that did stop back on lap 7 under our only caution of the night so far. Will Fletcher and Jeff Hollingsworth have both retired after that incident, so they are both done in another bottom 2 finish for Jeff Hollingsworth.
Sorry for putting the curse on you, Jeff.
I'm
watching this battle here between Sweeney and Brazington with Beasley and Grandy all there. This is a good little fight that these guys have been going on now for a while. You know, they just keep flipping around. You're seeing them lose a little bit of time to that lead group, but if they single file out, they catch them like it's no big deal, as both Swearingen and Davis are in.
Yep, Swearingen and Davis started to fall off a little bit. Now they're coming in. Chris Beasley
Walker,
in.
Joe Bricky. A lot of guys have made the pit early. Now what they're doing, and I'm a fan of it, is they are undercutting here tonight. Mm-hmm. And I think with the advantage that you're able to get on tires, like we said, I mean, you're only looking at less than 5-6 tenths of a second. I don't mind the undercut. I think the undercut will be advantageous for these guys.
Compare that to a truck or an Xfinity or a Cup car, where the undercut could be by as much as 2 seconds a lap. Only half a second is not that bad a fall off, as Siefker pinned to that bottom line. Thought he might be coming in there, but this is appearing to be a bigger undercut than we had anticipated, as Ronnie Osmer and Chris Simard have both jumped down pit road. Jeffrey Roulette in, Nick Starling in as well.
Yeah, and our first one out of pit road is Lyle Swearingen. He had a great pit stop at, let me find it, I lost it, 39.2 versus Butch Davis at a 39.9. So Swearingen definitely beat him on entry for sure. You know, his pit crew beat him by almost, 5 tenths of a second. But right now, it is going to be Swearingen out in, effectively your race lead by almost a full second.
Bentley Glazer, Jake Walsh, Timothy Bates, Mike Grandy all down pit road. Grandy not able to get into the box clean. Nate Siefker pits from the race lead. Reed Sweeney, Dan Brazington, and Dan Anshaw coming in. That hands the lead of the race over to Chad Simpson.
And Simpson is the only one that has not pitted from the original start of the race, as here he comes now. Jerry Brubacher pitted on lap 7. So these guys are going to be able to run 7-8 laps more in theory. And with some clean air, it'll be interesting to see where these guys cycle out.
Jari Brubacher into the race lead. 32-year-old from Zurich, Switzerland.
Sorry, I pronounced your name wrong, Jari.
It's all good.
I'll get it. Give me a little time.
Of course. Oh, you should hear me, Tony, and Jason trying to do the Swedish names in the race earlier today. Oh boy, that's going to be a while. Sam Cooper Bennett down pit road in the 99. There he is. Pitting from 9th. Michael Sturgill in from 2nd. Effective race lead, as Greg had mentioned, will be Lyle Swearingen. Swearingen finds himself 1.2 seconds clear of Butch Davis, who is not alone, as that is Nate Siefker very close behind, as well as the lap car of Kevin O'Brien in the 84 splitting between the two. And Swearingen continues to pull that gap, as he's just following that 53 of Carl Burke, helping him along, helping him get away a little bit more. It's about a second and a half now, the difference between 1 and 2.
Yeah, and that's, watch it there, boys. Swearingen did a great job being able to ride around there behind a lap car. And like you said, he was just able to pull away from Butch. Now, Butch Davis has kind of closed the gap a little bit. He's closed it by about 0.3 of a second already, as these three drivers going side by side really punches a huge hole. Right now, that big lead that Swearingen had is now down to 8-9 of a second again.
It's been cut effectively in half as Siefker battling with Butch Davis. That would be for effective second. Kevin O'Brien comes into pit from the effective race lead, from the race lead. Now Timothy Emanuele gets the race lead. Title car out in front of his own race. He is the
Gotta
last.
be out there.
Exactly. The last one to pit, aside from Mike Ridgely, who's just behind him. These two are the only two drivers that have not come into pit, and now that has changed.
Yeah, both of those guys make the hard left onto pit road, slam on the brakes. Going to hand the lead back to Lyle Swearingen. And he's holding about 0.9 to a second ahead of Davis and Siefker as those two run side by side. They slow themselves down a little bit. But the advantage they have is that the three in front of them are essentially all running side by side 3 wide.
Sam Cooper Bennett trying to get a lap back. Same thing with the 53 of Carl Burke. However, Sam battling a little bit harder with Lyle Swearingen. There is the 99 of Sam Cooper Bennett battling to try to get back on the lead lap. Swearingen came in on lap 42. Compare that to Sam, who came in on lap 48.
Oh!
So 6 lap differences. Sam is actually around down in the infield, and that will be a caution.
I didn't do it.
No, you didn't.
I'm going back to take a look at it right here just to see. Oh, he just tried to get himself ahead of who was that?
We'll see what happened here from our end.
Carl Burke.
Yep. Just came down on the nose of Burke.
The good thing that Sam, though, had, he didn't touch anything.
Exactly.
He made it slide through the grass, so that car is still going to be in fantastic shape.
Just a little bit of a do-si-do. Boy, didn't even look like he hit him all that much. If the very front of the nose cone for Burke caught the light box at the back end of that car, that was really all it was.
Yeah, it wasn't much, and like we said, it's now I don't know what spotters these guys are running, whether they're running a third-party spotter or whether they are running the main iRacing spotter. If you adjust that distance, he may have heard clear, may have not. It's tough to tell, but like I said, that was so close in that battle. But yeah,
mix in pit strategy playing out now as a lot of the drivers who just came in are coming back in. Chad Simpson staying out. Yari Bruphatcher staying out.
Brazenton, Sturgill, Bates, Inch. And really, these guys pitted, anywhere between 45 and up. It's not a horrible. I mean, you're 10 laps on tires. But we've seen tire wear hasn't been horrible, and clean air has been king. So why not? If you've been riding around mid-pack, why not stay out? Give it a shot.
Lyle Swearingen wins the race off of pit road. As Simpson, Bruphatcher, Brazenton, Sturgill, Bates, Inch, Roulette, and Grandy have all decided to stay out there, and a majority of those guys, well, let me see, 1, 2, actually, no, I'll take that back, only 2, only Bruphatcher and Sturgill had come in during lap 7. So I think Sam may have had another moment here. Unless he's towed. This is on board with Sam right now.
Let's take a look.
I think he just pulls off and stops here. Yes, he does.
He was given Sam was given an EOL there for that incident, and Sam is no longer here. He has decided to put that car on the hauler tonight and call it a day.
So that will make him the 4th retirement of this race, to go along with Jeff Hollingsworth, Will Fletcher, and Jeffrey Bogan. Carl Burke and Mike Ridgely have also, I believe, called it an evening.
Carl Burke has, yes, both of them have called it an evening as well.
So that'll make that now 6 of the 31 participants to begin the night have called it quits.
I heard that.
What?
Participants?
I didn't even realize I said it.
I thought you said that on purpose.
No, didn't even realize I said it.
For those of you in the... Go ahead.
He's a lot more awake than I am at the moment.
Oh, yeah. For those of you sitting in the YouTube chat, make sure you like, subscribe, share, follow those on... We're on Twitch, too, tonight, aren't we?
Yep, we are on Sim Racing Media's YouTube page. We are also on VRS's Facebook and Twitch tonight, as we will be all season long. On all 3 platforms. And
I'm going to try and pull up the other chats so we can see who is in there.
The VRS YouTube page will get a tape-delayed version of this race, as they will all season long. So lights are out.
Go ahead. We'll get restarted, then we'll do stuff.
Yep, lights are out on the pace car. Chad Simpson, Yari Brupatcher, Dan Brazington, Mike Sturgill, and Tim Bates. Your current running top 5. Last time these guys came down pit road on your screen right now, Brupatcher by far the latest of those guys. And now using that pit strategy has found himself in a quite advantageous spot. As the field lines up along the outside fence, about to begin lap number 60 here tonight at Kentucky. Chad Simpson leading them down for the first time. Again, restart is at the leader's discretion, not in the Geico restart zone if he doesn't want it to be. And just before the restart zone, Chad Simpson fires away, and we're off and running again.
Yeah, Simpson got a huge jump there, almost half a second lead over Yari as they go diving into turn 1. Yari's under pressure from Brazington right now.
Oh, caution's out again.
Ooh, let's take a look and see.
Oh, that's the 39 of Emanuele. 72 of Shane Loveridge as well.
Take a look. Looks like a solo. Oh, geez. Hard contact there. Between, who's that? Loveridge.
That was net code between the 72 and the 39, and unfortunately not an unusual sight around the 72 of Loveridge, being in the Australia-New Zealand club. So see what happens there with Emanuele. We'll take a look off the back to see how much contact, if there was contact made at all. Oh, no. There was contact made.
Oh, yeah. So as we're back under yellow, everybody in the YouTube, Twitch, and all that, shout out what drivers you're rooting for. Be sure to like, follow, subscribe to the Facebook page for Sim Racing Media and the other sponsors here tonight, Virtual Racing School. And if you're in the, yep, can't forget them. But, if you're in the chat, let us know who you're rooting for. If there's somebody that you're cheering on tonight, let us know. We'll happily take a look and show them wherever possible.
I think Ernie Ludwig in the YouTube chat is a little biased since he's on Commonwealth Motorsports.
Just a little bit. But that's okay.
Babs in the YouTube chat as well. FBR Motorsports going for the 42. Thank you very much for that.
Your overlay is fine, Frank. I know the next message.
No, I know. That was from
okay.
Yeah, that was from qualifying. As we are under our third caution of the night, working lap number 62 of 167. We've seen a lot of green flag racing here tonight. And these just two cautions back to back here. First caution on lap 7. A multi-car incident involving Will Fletcher and Jeff Hollingsworth. During that long green flag run, Jeffrey Bogan catching the wall, ending his night. Sam Cooper Bennett off the nose cone of Carl Burke just a couple of laps ago, and now the most recent caution, the incident between the 39 of Timothy Emanuele and Shane Loveridge. As we cross the start-finish line, the lights on the safety car stay on. So let's see if we can get somebody in here to have a little bit of a chat. Let's actually jump and try to get the man who has done a lot of leading thus far in this race, currently sitting in the 12th position right now. Butch Davis now joining us. Butch, you got us?
Yeah, Frank, how you doing?
Good, good. So you spent a lot of time up front. Tire wear, how is that looking? And fuel wear looks to be about on par.
Yeah, it's definitely been interesting. Obviously clean air is king, but we kind of got snookered on that last restart, lost a couple spots, and right now it's just trying to preserve the car. I mean, we've still got over 100 laps to go, and just from here, it's kind of methodically work my way back up towards the front if I can, I hope.
Has it been about as crazy on track as it's looked out here? We're seeing 3-4 wide. I know you've been in front of it a lot, but it's got to be tense battling with Swearingen as much as you've been.
Yeah, absolutely. It is kind of crazy out here. Swearingen's a teammate, but we don't do team orders at FBR. And we race each other as hard as we would race anybody else. Just one rule, don't take each other out. So, we're going to go at it, and hopefully, both of us can get back up there towards the front and join Dan and Chad. I think Jeffrey Roulette might have a little bit of damage, but, just try and keep everybody in the game here.
All right, getting set to go green. Butch, good luck the rest of the way. Thanks for taking the time.
Yep, thank you, gentlemen.
That was Butch Davis. Again, has had quite an amount of success here tonight, as we see off the nose cone of Chad Simpson, and it's going to be interesting. It's always quite a different sensation when you go from being out in the front to being buried in the pack.
Oh, yeah. And especially here. Like I said, these guys are fighting for whatever clean air they can get on this nose. And the further back in the pack you get, the tougher it is to get there. Not only will you be tighter, but you're also going to burn that right front up a lot more. As it looks like Walsh was given an EOL. Just taking a look here real quick.
He was a part of that incident. If you saw there on the replays, a car sideways in turns 1 and 2. That was Walsh. That was sideways. Maybe the same incident as Sam and Carl Burke. Maybe just a little bit of clear, not clear, as Simpson is a half a second clear of Jari Brubhatcher on the restart once again. Brubhatcher under heavy pressure from Dan Brazington in the 29.
Brazington with a crossover as they come out of turn 2, going down this long backstretch here. Brazington's going to have the advantage diving into turn 1, holding this bottom line. Not able to shift up, though, in front of Jari, as he's going to fight back as they come across the line and go diving back into turn 1 here.
Brazington did have the position but was not clear. Mike Grandy battling with the 66 of Jeffrey Roulette. That would be for the 6th spot. Roulette has it. Grandy wants it.
And we've said it before, these restarts are where you are going to see guys fight the hardest to gain the most positions because everybody's so bunched up and grouped together that once they start getting spread out, it's a lot tougher to make passes. As I look a little further back at Bentley Glazer racing Butch Davis and all them, there's a big tangle and gaggle of cars back here all fighting.
Nate Siefker 3 wide up the middle between Jeffrey Roulette and Swearingen. Swearingen on the outside is the one that gets the spot, and Roulette gets the shaft as he starts to fall back. Down to 12th now, was just battling for 5th. He's now continuing to slide back as he does not have any momentum whatsoever, as a big dive there from Chris Simard forces Joe Brickey to completely evade the corner.
Yeah, these guys are really turning up the aggression now as we've got about 100 laps to go in this race. Still a long way. But these guys are taking whatever they can get as Roulette continues to fall right now, fall behind Starling and Simard, who are both able to get around him as they came across the start-finish line.
There's Jeffrey Roulette currently running in the 15th position. It's also kind of the effect of having faster cars in the midst with cars that they've been ahead of all race, trying to fight their way through as Swearingen up to 7th. Nate Siefker behind him. Reed Sweeney, we've seen him fast all night. Brett Beasley had a couple of good runs.
Now, the interesting thing, too, that we haven't talked about this race is these guys do have in-car adjustments, and I'm wondering if that's what happened with Roulette. He made a wrong adjustment, and he was trying to catch back up to it. Maybe put a little too much front ballast in, and as adjusted it over that last run. He might be trying to save that and get that back right now, as some of these other guys, may not have made as drastic of a change.
Mike Sturgill up in the top 3 for the first time tonight. Chad Simpson in the race lead for the first time here tonight. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. You are watching the Black Flag Photography 250 from Kentucky Speedway, round number 2 here for Season 5 of Sim Racer's Edge. We'll be back right after this.
Are you struggling for consistency in your sim racing? Does your iRating look like a roller coaster? If so, we have good news for you. The way to get more consistent is to first understand what you're doing differently than the professionals. And VRS is the answer. With our competitive subscription, you will have the telemetry, setups, tutorials, and everything else you need to fully analyze your driving. Our data packs and the ability to compare your driving with the best in the world will show you exactly where to adjust your inputs, change your driving line, and shave seconds off of your lap times. And our powerful and precise Direct Force Pro wheelbase and precision pedals are being used by some of the world's best drivers, including Peter Berryman, John Robertson, Brandon Trano, and IndyCar World Champion Alex Palou. All these champions agree that VRS hardware is not just the best on the market, it's also priced well below the competition. So if you're looking to upgrade to direct drive and the best pedals in sim racing, VRS is your answer. If you want to get better, get faster, and make it happen sooner rather than later, you owe it to yourself to find out why so many people are switching to VRS. You'll be so glad that you did. Visit www.virtualracingschool.com and learn why the best use VRS.
Are you new to sim racing, or maybe a veteran struggling to reach the next level? Have you ever wondered how the aliens reach impressive lap times that seem impossible to achieve? If so, you're not alone. Most drivers reach a certain level and get stuck. But getting faster on track is easier than you think. VRS coaches are some of the best sim racers in the world and offer one-on-one driver skills training at affordable rates to help new drivers learn the basics and help experienced drivers break through to the next level. Are you ready to get faster and get off the iRating roller coaster? If so, VRS one-on-one personal training is for you. If you've invested in your equipment, it might be time to invest in yourself. Just go to virtualracingschool.com and sign up for a 30, 60 or 90-minute session with one of our world-class coaches, and you'll learn exactly what to do for faster lap times and more podiums.
Round 2 action here at Kentucky Speedway, the Black Flag Photography 250. Race number 2 of Season 5 for the Sim Racers Edge IndyCar Series. Side-by-side battling for the race lead. That's Michael Sturgill on the inside. Chad Simpson, last week's winner, on the outside. Mike Grandy battling for position now third against Yari Brupatcher and taking that spot. As Greg, we were talking about during the break, it's been a lot of great action here tonight.
It has. These guys have not blipped the throttle once, and they have kept this thing. I was thinking we'd hit a little patch where guys just kind of got, single file, turn some laps, get some of this stuff done. But, man, I've loved this racing that we've seen, as here comes Siefker now up into the top 5.
Siefker back up to where he started in 6th right now, looking for 5th position against Dan Brazington. Siefker has led a couple laps here tonight. As Siefker, again, with connection issues. We saw him have those last week at Auto Club as well, bailing out all the way to the wall. That allows Reed Sweeney to jump under him. And Sweeney, we saw him, he did not qualify for this race, was actually on track as the session time expired. Plus 17 from where he started 24th up to 7th now. Reed Sweeney's been successfully slicing through this field.
Yeah, he is, and I've enjoyed watching him. He's been one of the few guys that has been consistently sticking to that middle to high line, and you're really seeing it pay dividends for him. As right now he is side by side with Swearingen, but he gets that run off the back. Swearingen's going to dive it hard into the turn 3. But here comes Sweeney back around that outside. He's going to have the advantage, have the run, give the position to Sweeney.
Maintains that position. Nick Starling battling with Chris Simard. This is just outside the top 10. Starling has 11th. Chris Simard battling him for it. Butch Davis and Bentley Glazer, two guys that have spent a majority of the night up in the top 5 now, battling for 13th and 14th. After the most recent run of pit stops and cautions.
Yeah, and somebody back here, Butch Davis. We talked about him leading up front and being very successful. Swearingen has worked his way up. He's sitting in 8th place right now. Davis hasn't really moved up since this last restart. I don't know if it's, the car's not handling the way he wants right now, or if he's just biding time. I don't really know, but he's trying to make the pass right now on Bentley Glazer as Glazer pinches him down a little bit. Davis is going to have the spot diving into 1. Give him another spot, but we'll see if he can keep climbing forward like we've seen Swearingen and Siefker do.
Melinda S. in the YouTube chat rooting for Jeffrey Roulette. There is Roulette. Running currently in the 19th position, battling with Joe Brickey in front of him and Kevin O'Brien behind. Chris Walker in the 23 also not that far behind either. That 66 has spent some time in the top 15 today. Nate Siefker battling side by side with Reed Sweeney up for 6th. Sweeney to the inside trying to maintain that position, but Siefker on the outside line able to keep that momentum and get the spot back.
Yeah, he is, and I'm looking, and you're starting to see that middle line get a little bit blacker. You know, it's not as noticeable as I thought it would be, but we're definitely starting to see some guys move up the track as we have a yellow.
Yep,
Ronnie Osmer.
Yep, the 55 of Ronnie Osmer. Season debut out of Pearl River, Louisiana.
Oh. Self-spin there for Osmer.
We're going to see it right now.
Decides to take the pit road cone with him.
Oh, he clipped the apron going through the tri-oval, and that was one thing we had said, that the pit apron was out of bounds. Well, that tri-oval apron was out of bounds tonight. And Osmer just gets caught clipping it, and that's part of the reason why it's out of bounds. That can very easily happen.
The good thing for Osmer, though, is he didn't hit anything. So that car is still in great shape. You know, he's going to need 4 Mr. Feelgoods on it, but he's still able to race. As we see wholesale pit stops as everybody decides to come down.
It is the wholest of wholesale stops happening right now as Osmer's VSM teammate Mike Sturgill leading them down pit road. Chad Simpson there as well.
Now, the thing to remember, too, is we are not within a fuel window for everybody to make it, but you are within a window for one more stop.
So there will be one more stop at least in between as Sturgill wins the race off of pit road just barely, but it's that battle for third off of pit road won by Dan Brazington that was about as close as you could have gotten. Brazington, Brubhatcher, Grandy all merging into one. And just barely, Dan Brazington is the one that comes away with the top spot. Of the group, at least.
Yeah, I was going to say, Sturgill's still your race leader. He pitted with everybody else, had a great pit time, 8.15 seconds, one of the fastest that we've had, especially on that stop. But, that gains him a ton of positions, puts him back out front. Siefker's back to 5th. Sweeney's up to 7th. Swearingen in 8th. Butch Davis is up to 12th now. So it'll be interesting on this restart with, 64 laps to go?
Just about.
74 laps. To see how aggressive these guys are going to get. Because even still, 74, we were seeing, 35 laps of fuel? 35 to 38, I think, is what we were seeing before. It's going to be real close.
Nick Starling has pulled it off and stopped right at the start-finish line in that number 7.
Taking a look, I don't see him receiving an EOL.
He's off. Either way, he's off and rolling now. We'll see whether or not he gets an EOL or if he returns to his position. 7 drivers currently out of this race. Shane Loveridge, Sam Cooper-Bennett, Carl Burke, Mike Ridgely, Jeffrey Bogan, Will Fletcher, and Jeff Hollingsworth as the 7 returns to his position. Those 7 drivers out of this race. Timothy Emanuele still on pit road fixing crash damage from earlier on. As we have 23 drivers circulating this racetrack right now. All 23 of them are on the lead lap.
We started out with 31 guys. We're down to 23 on the lead lap. like you said, that's still a huge field. And there's still other guys like Emanuele's still sitting in pit lane. Loveridge, I think, has pulled it off for the night.
Emanuele, with all that damage, still has not given up the ghost just yet. He's been on pit road for about 22 minutes now, repairing that title sponsor machine. Again, if you are interested...
I was just going to say, love the commitment.
Yeah, absolutely. And especially if he's showing this kind of commitment on the racetrack, I'm sure his commitment will be unmatched as far as taking your photographs. On Facebook at Black Flag Photography 39 and on Instagram at Black_Flag Photography for tonight's title sponsor.
And thank you, MRig Racing. It's Rigney. Like rig, big rig.
Rigney, thank you.
Rigney. As looking in the Twitch chat as we're getting ready to go back green. Aventador. I don't think there's a clear-cut favorite for tonight. Frank, is there anybody you can think of?
There hasn't. With how much the draft has played effect, it really just depends on where you end up. What part of the field you end up at, what part of the race you end up there, because Michael Sturgill, who's leading the field now, he was mired back in the mid-teens, high 20s earlier on tonight. Waits about as long as he possibly can to get that restart, and now he's up here battling for the lead, showing a lot of pace. Now again, this is an open fixed series that we like to call it. Is an open setup. It is not the iRacing standard setup, but everyone has it. So no one has an advantage with a custom setup. As that was a very close incident there between Yari Brupatcher and the one of Nate Siefker. Very awkward going into turn 3 were both of those cars.
Yeah, Siefker's been blinking a little bit. So I don't know how much of it that played into it as we see the fight for the lead. Simpson's trying to get the lead on that bottom there over Sturgill. He's going to get clear. He's going to slide up. Not all the way, but he's going to have the advantage at the line as they go back into turn 1. And we see 2 wide behind him there, back in about 9th place.
Simpson will get that race lead. Michael Sturgill holding on as well. Ronnie Osmer comes down pit road. Get Dan Brasington on the bottom of 3 wide now, going for second.
And gets it. Not just going for it,
Yep.
He took it. Here comes Siefker around that outside. Gets to the outside corner of Brasington. Has to back off a little bit. Sturgill gets the position as he's falling right in line now, trying to hold off Siefker as he's got Reed Sweeney right behind him.
Very big and bold move from Dan Brasington. Siefker on that outside. Reed Sweeney has thrown his hat into the ring tonight after not getting a chance to qualify or lay down a lap in qualifying. Battled himself up into the top 5, plus 19 from where he started. Now these guys will get a break next week. First off week of the season. These guys will have 3 of those this season. Then after that, it'll be 3 consecutive weeks. Richmond Raceway coming up next week, next time out on September 15th. After that, it'll be Watkins Glen, and then the Oval at Charlotte Motor Speedway will be the next run of 3 races before another week off for the first Thursday in October. So second Thursday in September, first Thursday in October. This series will have off. So 2 weeks time will be the next time we see this series out at Richmond.
And Richmond is an interesting one with these cars. You know, we go Richmond, which is a mile or a mile and a quarter.
Less than a mile, I think.
Is it 3/4?
I think it's 3/4, yes.
We go short track racing, then we go road course racing at the Glen, which a lot of people refer to, at least on the NASCAR side, as the super speedway of road courses. And I think they're running the Cup.
Yes, they are.
Not the boot. Okay, yeah, they're running the normal one. where you come out of the carousel and go straight down the backstretch and not hook a left.
Oh, I think, let me see here. Let me just make sure. No, they are running the.
It's the boot?
Oh, the boot. Oh, never mind. I thought you were talking about the bus stop for a second there. Never mind.
No. Yeah, no. You have to run the bus stop, but it's whether you hook a left to go down that little backstretch, as we see Brazington get real close to Sturgill there coming at it too.
I think the bigger story there is Nate Siefker taking a tumble down the field. He's just had a major fit as far as his connection's concerned. He's fallen from the top 5 all the way down to 17th now in that number 1, causing a bunch of guys to scatter coming out of turn 2 the last time around.
Yeah, Siefker's back in 18th right now. I don't know whether
he's pulling off.
Oh, easy, buddy. I don't know.
Did he catch the wall, maybe?
Nope, he's back. I don't know. I'd have to go back and take a look.
I hadn't seen if he had caught the wall or anything, but he's coming down pit road now, and he's pulling off and stopping. So Nate Siefker appears to be done tonight as well.
At least if not, just trying to fix his connection as he's disappeared once again. I haven't seen him disconnect from the race yet, but
take a look back. This is him battling with Yari Brupatcher. Side by side on the outside coming out of turn 4. Now we had said during... Oh, he just slows. As if maybe he's having an issue. Giving a little bit of a wiggle to that car as well.
Yeah, I don't know if his connection got him or if RC may have stepped in and said something. I can jump down there and talk to him. As we've got a change in the lead, Dan Brazington gets himself up to the front. And, yep, Nate Siefker dropped due to upload packet loss.
So
and as soon as we say Brazington gets it, here comes Sweeney back on the bottom to take the lead.
Boy, you want
huge dive into 3.
You want to talk about a possible favorite. Reed Sweeney might just be that. He has started so far back in the field, now fought his way up to the race lead. There's no pit strategy involved in what the 19 has done here tonight. It has been all car. He I think, has had by far the brute force to take this win away.
Absolutely. Brazington there on the outside as they cross the line, give it to Sweeney. But like you said, some of these guys got up front. God love them with pit strategy. If you can make it happen, do it. Some guys have been in love with it. Others, such as Butch Davis, have not been in love with it right now. But, Sweeney, like you said, he drove his way. He's loving that outside line. Right now, sitting in the middle, trying to follow Sturgill here. Just not able to get up there with Simpson there. But, if he can get himself back to that outside line, we've seen him be one of the few guys to really make moves consistently all night long from that position.
And we talk about other guys that have had pace. Butch Davis was up at the front all night. Lyle Swearingen was up at the front all night. Same thing with Bentley Glazer before the pit strategy kind of threw everyone around. Reed Sweeney's the only one that's been able to drive their way back up through this field. Swearingen's kind of stalled out around 7th, 8th. Butch Davis has not been back in the top 10, nor has Bentley Glazer, who's down in 14th. That 19 has been able to drive his way through this field in a way that no one else has been able to tonight.
No, and a big key to that has been that outside line, we talked about it earlier as we see a big run from Starling coming down, getting to the inside there, trying to take it 3 wide, just not able to. As I thought I heard some tires sliding, but I don't see anything right now.
Guys moving and shaking all throughout this field. A lot of close racing as Tim Bates in that red number 21 behind his teammate Bentley Glazer. That's for 14th position. Glazer now up to 13th. As somebody sliding through the back, that is someone sideways. It's Mike Sturgill, and sliding around backwards as well. That's Kevin O'Brien. And I believe Mark McFadden. No, not McFadden.
Joe Brickey got in it. I think it's
Joe Brickey. And there's Bricky in the red and white machine.
Ooh. Yeah, Bricky got the wall in 3 and 4. I'm trying to go back and see whether that was solo or...
It was Sturgill was the initial incident. Sturgill sliding out of turn 4 was the reason for the caution. And after that, Bricky and O'Brien came in. Here's what happened with Sturgill. Battling for the race lead, just loses it on the bottom by himself. And
going
then
back and looking...
And then
what happened
Bricky
with Bricky was Brett Beasley got into the wall and collected Bricky, who collected O'Brien, and put that second half of the wreck together.
Oh, yep, that is Beasley. Slow.
He just got up into the wall. He had to chase the car up on that upper line and just chased it. You know, sadly had to chase it right up all the way to the wall.
While we have a second here, we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back under caution for the 5th time tonight here at Kentucky. You are watching the Sim Racers Edge Series Black Flag Photography 250 from Kentucky, round number 2 of the season. We'll be back right after this.
Are you struggling to keep up with the top drivers? Are you ready to get faster and more consistent? If so, it doesn't have to take as long as you might think. With the VRS competitive subscription, you'll have the telemetry, setups, tutorials, and everything you need to analyze your driving and see exactly where you're losing time. Our data packs and the ability to compare your driving with the best in the world will show you where to adjust your inputs, change your driving line, and shave seconds off your lap times. When it comes to your equipment holding you back, the powerful and precise Direct Force Pro wheelbase and precision pedals are being used by some of the best drivers in the world, including Jordan Caruso, Tim Ryan, Jordi Lopez, and Oscar Piastri. It's no secret that VRS hardware is not just the best on the market, it's also the best value for money. So if you're looking to upgrade your wheelbase to direct drive and want highly adjustable, ultra-realistic pedals, VRS is your answer. You can get better, faster, and more consistent in less time and for less money. You owe it to yourself to find out why so many people are switching to VRS. Just go to the URL or the button below and learn why the best use VRS. To win in sim racing, you have to know when to send it. So pay attention. This means it's time for everyone to send it. This flag means someone sent it too hard and now we all have to slow down. This means someone sent it so hard we all have to go back to the pits and wait for the track to be cleared. And we don't get to send it again until we see this flag. This flag means you haven't been sending it hard enough and now need to get out of the way. When you see this flag, it's your last chance to send it. And when you see this flag, if you sent it the best, you get to do this. And remember, if you're gonna send it the best with VRS.
Welcome you back to round number 2 of Season 5 for the Sim Racers Edge Series. Black Flag Photography 250 from Kentucky Speedway. About to go back to green flag racing here on lap 119 of 167. Jeffrey Roulette in the race lead after not coming into pit. during this most recent caution, and boy, is he relying on an early caution. He's banking on an early caution coming out here, because he last came into pit back on lap 92 compared to everyone else who came in under this caution on lap 115. So Roulette is going to need a miracle here to happen. As Greg, why don't you take us down to green?
Thanks, Frank. Yeah, Roulette holding that group back, surprisingly leaving a big lane up on that high side, tempting Brazington almost to get the jump. Roulette does a great job, starts pulling away. Brazington actually does another fantastic launch. He's going to try his best to get to that outside as they dive into turn one. Roulette with the lead, Brazington, and here comes Simpson, last week's winner, trying to take this thing 3 wide up the middle. Not close enough. Oh, but here comes Sweeney. Sweeney to the bottom of the track in turn 3, takes the lead and starts to pull away.
What a coup by Reed Sweeney to be able to go from fourth. We're focused on Roulette, Brazington, and Simpson, and here comes Sweeney up the inside. Not able to hold it, though, as here comes Brazington looking to the outside. Brazington not able to make the move stick, and the caution comes out again. That's the caution that Roulette needed. He gets it, as back in the field, it's Ronnie Osmer around in the 55 in the wall in turn 2.
Bricky's involved again as well in this.
Yep, they're both already in pit road.
Big contact, big hit between those two, as does, I think that was O'Brien. Who was that just caught the wall? You'll see it in the wreck.
Boy, Osmer came in, thought he had room, and just did not. Might have been Tyler Vickery. It was Tyler Vickery that ends up catching a piece of the wall on the back end of it. Sure, what in the world happened to Vickery for him to catch the wall there? I'm not quite sure.
I'm going back to take a look to see if he locked it up or anything like that.
Riding on board with him. Oh, he got clipped ever so slightly by the 10. Yeah, he got clipped ever so slightly by the 10 of Bricky. And that's what ended up happening with him.
Yeah, you hate to see that, and especially netcode. You know, we're getting into week 13, which should be next week, if I remember right.
It is next week.
As I think Walker had a little incident as well. You know, especially whenever you get close to week 13, it seems netcode gets worse and worse and worse. But right now, it's just so rough. I mean, for the folks that were watching Thunderclap yesterday, there was some netcode there that we were seeing at iRacing Super Speedway. In the iRacing East Series, when we were at Daytona on Friday night, you know, netcode caused a huge wreck. There was a good 4 foot of netcode there that took myself out and a bunch of others in the lead pack.
Myself as
on
well.
The last lap. Yeah, you included. So, you know, it gets worse and worse, but hopefully it's something that gets fixed in this next patch.
Chris Walker gets the wave around. Now, we know of 2 items that are coming out in this update for the next season of iRacing 2022 Season 4. We know that there is a track in Norway that is going to be coming out that will be a free giveaway for iRacing.
Oh, that'll be nice.
From iRacing. It's a nice quaint little road circuit up in Norway. And then just announced today, the first of the paid update announcements, the Porsche Mission R. First electric vehicle to iRacing will be coming out in this update.
I got to ask Frank, quaint, was that on your calendar word of the day?
No.
Oh, it was on mine.
Oh, okay.
So you beat me to it. I was like, oh, darn it, Frank.
But that'll be interesting to see the first electric car. Unfortunately, it's not one of the Formula E cars.
Nope.
That's coming to iRacing. But it would be interesting to see what the first electric car coming to the iRacing series will be able to do.
It is, and I'm I'm excited. I don't know if I'm going to buy it right away, but I'm going to be interested to see reviews and see what this car is going to do, and then see especially where iRacing plans to use it. You know, whether it's going to come out as its own series or whether it's going in with some of the other road courses.
That Norwegian track is the Rudskogen Raceway, or Rudskogen Raceway. Almost looks like a big E, kind of.
Huh. That'll be an interesting one.
A lot of elevation change. Again, that's the free racetrack that's coming out, and I know iRacing is very proud and excited of for the release of the World of Outlaws video game that they've partnered in.
Yep.
That'll be coming up soon as well. As we get set to go back to green flag racing, coming up here on Sim Racing Media. We had 3 races today. We've got 1 tomorrow. And that one race will be the aforementioned Circle B Diecast Super Speedway Series. Next Gen Cars at Talladega for round number 2 of the season. That will be tomorrow night at 8:20 p.m. Eastern Time. On Saturday will be a doubleheader, the season finale for the Super Late Model AI Series from Five Flags. Got about 5 different drivers eligible for the championship, and that's not good because that means Tony and I have to do quick math, which is not our strong suit. But coming up during the day, a 4:50 p.m. Eastern Time start for the ISNF Cup Series All-Star Race. They will be at Chicagoland this Saturday, and a very quick turnaround for them as they go points racing at Darlington the very next night. Sunday Night NASCAR will also be coming from Darlington this Sunday night, and then the season 12 finale for the CleanRacing.net Truck Series coming up this Monday. We're getting set to go back to green flag racing as Reed Sweeney leads them down, taking lap 125 of 167 here from Kentucky.
Sweeney got a great jump there on Brazington, caught him sleeping a little bit. Simpson's able to try and catch up, but we've seen this top 5, top 6 have really spread themselves out right now with that early jump from Sweeney.
Battles around 10th as Butch Davis trying to fend off from Jake Walsh, and now Dan Ench starting to work his way up.
Falling. What happened to Brazington?
Brazington having some connection issues. We've seen him tumble down the order a couple of times tonight because of those connection issues, and unfortunately, nope, he has regained his position back up in second.
That was a little worrisome there, seeing that, but
I've seen him tumble down the order a couple of times. Nothing too concerning though. Is Lyle Swearingen working around Jeffrey Roulette, who got the caution he needed to try to come into pit and did not take it.
Nope. Being that close, I mean, you turn a few laps, you're not gaining any kind of advantage if you came in right away, you know. But if they get another one here in about 5-6 laps, I could definitely see him taking the turn onto pit road to try and gain some fresh tires. As who is that into the wall? Back, that is
Dan Inch. It's the 52 of Inch. Watch out. Couple guys going around.
Yeah, that right front suspension is broken on that car. He's doing everything he can to get that thing woed up.
Right
Actually
front.
takes the Legends track entry. Love
May
it.
as well get it off the track as soon as possible, and something tells me that the dangerous pit, the unsafe pit entry penalty is not going to hurt him too much.
No.
As
all that happened, Brazington's up to the lead.
Dan Brazington up to the race lead, but not for long as
And
the connection gives away. Very dangerous now for Reed Sweeney as Nick Starling looks to the inside. Brazington has not come back. There he is.
There he is. Just came back.
Top 3 have broken off of him. Being Sweeney, Starling, and Simpson have fallen about a half a second off him. They didn't know where he was.
Yeah,
down into
they had
turn
to be
3.
so conservative. They really did, because when netcode here, and especially when your car is gone, netcode becomes 10 times worse. And the last thing you want to have happen is catching a car that you can't see and absolutely destroying yourself, as now it's down to Sweeney and Brazington have pulled away from Starling, Simpson, and Swearingen and Simard back there as well.
Riding on board
And
with
Sweeney
Lyles.
back to the lead.
Riding on board with Lyle Swearingen as we see the pass for the lead by Reed Sweeney happen well up the racing track. Working lap 132 of 167. Chad Simpson there as well, running in fifth. There goes Brazington looking to the inside for a move.
Back and forth here, but, you know, Sweeney is, like we said, he's loving that outside line, and he was able to hold off that charge from Brazington. Brazington gets it at the line, but Sweeney's going to be side by side as they go into turn one.
That could not have been by a hundredth of a second, could it have been?
Oh, I doubt it.
We were down into the triple digits there, I'm sure. As
And that's the kind of finish we're hoping for.
Boy, if you didn't check it out on our Twitter page, the at Sim Racing Media 1 on Twitter, the finish that we had for the Swedish Racing League this morning, oval season opener at Daytona. They run oval and GT3s on alternating weeks. The finish this morning at Daytona was insane. 4-wide finish. All four drivers finishing within a hundredth of a second of each other. The replay of that finish is up on our Twitter page. As Reed Sweeney out to the race lead once again, away from Dan Brazington. A little bit further back, Yari Brubhatcher looking for position on Jeffrey Roulette. Roulette running in 11th. Now, Roulette came in on lap 92 last. Working lap 136 now. He cannot be all that far away from needing to pit under green.
No, but what he does is he is within his pit window right about now, actually, where he would be able, if he comes in and this race stays green, everybody else still has to make a pit. So I'm not going to say we talk down that strategy of him staying out, but the more we look at it, he's in a great spot.
He's stuck to his guns for sure. Estimated pit window between laps 38 and 42. And Roulette with inside of 38 laps to go right now, looking pretty solid as Reed Sweeney and Dan Brazington still battling side by side. Sweeney had him at the line that time.
Little further back, Simpson and Simard are fighting side by side with each other. Simard on that outside gets the advantage going into 3 over Simpson. Give P4 to Simard, but here comes Simpson really fighting back. Simard really checked up on that outside line. You know, Simpson has him Simard had him at the line, but Simpson's going to get him as they go into turn 1 here. As up ahead of them, we see that 3-wide battle again.
Enter stage left, Nick Starling looking to the inside, going 3 wide on Dan Brazington. Nick Starling going.
I was going to say stage way left. Stage way left after that.
Stage yellow line as Brazington actually clips him at the line. Brazington, Sweeney, and Starling right now, your top 3 battling for the race lead here. Just about 27 to go here at Kentucky. Well, Kentucky just putting on another great race here in this series.
Absolutely. And we were talking about it last week at Auto Club. That's what we figured. We figured the guys here were going to have, and we talked to them at the end of the race. They figured this race was going to race exactly like Auto Club did. The only difference is you can't go 6 wide. Safely.
Just
safely,
about.
I'll say.
Butch Davis, who we spoke to earlier on, under one of the cautions that we've had tonight, currently running in 7th. This is the highest he's been since the caution came out after the green flag cycle of pit stops. Timothy Bates battling now with Jeffrey Roulette side by side. This is for 13th. Bates now has the spot. Only 17 drivers remain on track after a litany of issues have taken drivers out here tonight as Nick Starling
Roulette is into the pits.
Jeffrey Roulette pitting now.
I don't think he's going to drag others down with him, but he's certainly going to have an advantage here now. A good 20-lap tire advantage on at least half of the field, and then a good 30-lap advantage on the others.
Now this is the cat and mouse game now, as these guys all have, I would say, roughly another 10 laps before they're starting to really think about coming into pit. Roulette has to go as quick as he can to build up enough of an advantage so these guys on the fresher tires don't just eat him up. However, he can't go too fast to not have tires to be able to fight them when the time comes.
Yeah, Roulette just got off pit road now. The leaders are just coming out of turn 2 as Roulette's in 3. So he's got a good advantage right now, but he's got to make sure he is on that pedal and pulling away from the leaders as best as he can, because, like you said, about 10 laps or so,
Mike Grandy
these guys
coming in.
Yep. So if he gets more guys, Grandy, if like Swearingen or Davis or Yari and them decide to come in, it's really going to force the hand of these leaders. So Roulette right now needs to be smart as he puts up the fastest Sector 2 time right now. He's really got to be smart and play this thing well, because he is a lap down right now. He's praying for no yellow.
Starling, Sweeney, Brazington, Simard, and Simpson. Your top 5 with Jake Walsh in the 33 just hanging out behind these guys. Running currently in 6th, 20 laps to go as we hit the line, and everyone's got to come back down pit road at some point here in the next 20 laps. Some hoping under green, others would prefer it under caution.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm kind of keeping an eye on Roulette and Grandy right now, watching these guys, seeing where they come out. Roulette was able to come out ahead of Grandy by about half a track. Or, I'm sorry, Grandy was able to come out ahead of Roulette by about half a track. But
part of that I think would have to be
huge.
Part of that I think would have to be Roulette 8.5 seconds in the box. Compare that to Grandy's 4.5. So Grandy took fuel only there, while Roulette took tires and fuel, and out he went. So Grandy has just short pit Roulette's strategy and has put Roulette now 6.5 seconds, but closing rapidly behind Mike Grandy.
He is, and Grandy right now is in a draft, but Roulette is able to just keep chipping away, down to 6.8 seconds right now. He's able to chip into Grandy's lead more and more.
Worth noting that none of these drivers up here at the front are going to be taking full pit stops. I would have to assume splash and dash only for a lot of these guys to only make it about 5 to 10 laps to the end of the race, with these pit stops looming. And yes, Rigney, I guess you technically are correct that all of these cars are electric cars, if you put it that way.
Oh, jeez.
Jose Phillips cheering on Sturgill for tonight's race. Sturgill right now currently running in 10th, as here comes Reed Sweeney and Jake Walsh, both in pit road. 15 laps to go.
Sweeney with that big move. Yeah, really trying to undercut here. Let's see what if Starling and Brazington are going to react on this next lap.
Starling, it doesn't look like he's going to rely. Nope, he's not.
Sweeney in his stall for 10.5 seconds.
So that's a full stop for Sweeney. Jake
Might
Walsh
as well.
the same. Well, now the fight's going to be with Grandy, as here comes Grandy. Track map coming up. Your favorite driver and their the favorite driver's number is up on the screen. Where they are on the track map is where they are in relation to each other, as Grandy comes out in front by quite a ways over the 33 and over the 19. And both of those guys also beating out the 66 of Roulette.
Yeah, Roulette's about 3 seconds behind Walsh and Sweeney. A little under right now, but he's closing a little bit. He's closed in on Grandy by about a second since the last time we checked in on him. Chris Walker's into the pits as well.
One thing you can do in these cars is you can turn the engine map down. But how far down you dare to turn it to try to keep position is quite one thing to another. McFadden in, Simard in. Simard coming in from 6th.
Yeah, I would. See, I don't know if you turn that map down. Well, maybe. If you turn the map down, you're riding 3/4 throttle. I just don't know if those guys could have saved another 11 laps.
That's a lot of fuel.
You're talking if those guys came in on 115, like Starling, Brazington, Simpson, they all came in on 115. You're talking, God, 52 laps? I just don't think you can.
Couple of guys who might be a little bit better off. Now, Starling, Brazington, and Simpson, as Greg had just mentioned, came in on lap 115. Yari Brupatcher, Bentley Glazer, and Tim Bates, the 3 drivers behind them, they came in under the other caution on lap 121. So if that were to be the case, it's Yari Brupatcher right now whose race it is to lose, as he's got 2.5 seconds on Bentley Glazer, who currently runs in 5th.
Yeah, I think if anybody's got the shot, it's probably going to be those guys. But we're 8 to go right now. I think if those guys were going to have to come in, I think their window's closed.
They're saving it as long as they can up here. Nick Starling in the race lead right now. Jake Walsh coming back down pit road in the 33. Chris Simard, by the way, came out ahead of Mike Grandy, but not by much. As there is Grandy, that black car at the back of the screen. Butch Davis would be the next car for position.
I think Starling's coming in this time. I just saw him key up. Let's see. Yep, slowing way down. Brazington as well.
Race leader in, second place in. That leaves the race lead to Chad Simpson.
Now, Simpson could have definitely turned his map down. I saw him riding around that lead pack for a while. And even still, he just let the lap car go by. Walker.
Yari Brupatch.
No, not Walker.
That's Kevin O'Brien. Now, I think this would pretty much, I think, drops the race in the hands of Brupatcher, because if there's 6 laps to go and Brazington and Starling are coming in just now, I don't think Brupatcher, Glazer, and Bates are going to have to pit. Simpson will, and if he's got that engine mode turned down, Brupatcher's only a half a second behind, so you're racing with someone who knows they can make it.
Absolutely. So it's going to be a fuel game right now that Simpson's banking on. And Brupatcher's closed in. He's at 0.7 of a second. I just don't know if he's saving as well right now or what.
Might be saving a little bit, but he won't be saving as much as that 42 of Simpson, who's not really losing too much ground. He was only a 10th slower than Brupatcher that last lap, and Brupatcher does have a car between himself and Simpson. 3 laps to go.
Yari, I think, has to get on his high horse if he's going to have any chance of catching Simpson. And just as I say that, that time is now decreased by 0.2 of a second already. 0.3. Simpson's out, I think, or he's coming in. Nope, I lied. He's made his bed. Brupatcher, 0.6 back, 2 to go.
Yari Brupatcher looking for his first win in Sim Racer's Edge. Simpson looking to go 2 for 2 on the season. Through 3 and 4 for the second to last time. really low and slow is Chad Simpson. Still able to maintain. White flag in the air. One more lap to go. Has Simpson been able to save the fuel, or is he about to run out? Brupatcher just a half a second behind. Bentley Glazer putting Brupatcher under pressure now for second. But coming through turns 3 and 4, it looks as though he's done it. A monster fuel save strategy gives Chad Simpson win number 2 in race number 2 in season 5.
I didn't think he could do it. That was remarkable fuel saving out of Simpson. Oh my gosh.
The fuel window was 38 to 42 laps. Now there was one caution in the mix, but he went from lap 115 to 167, over 50 laps on that tank of fuel. What a start to this season for Chad Simpson.
Yeah, that was fantastic. And Yari, I thought he was going to get him. He closed that 2/10 with about when they hit 2 to go. Simpson just turned the burner back on, saved enough fuel, felt good, and said, here we go.
Unbelievable run, and we're not going to be able to hear from our second place finisher here tonight. However, I think the only person we are going to be able to hear from is our race winner here. If I just go through one more time. Yeah, I think the only one we are going to be able to hear from is our race winner, and that would be this man right. Oh, no, Bentley Glazer is here. But we'll go first to Chad Simpson. Chad, 2 for 2. How in the world did you save 50-plus laps of fuel on a tank that was only supposed to take you 42 at max?
Dude, if you would have told me I would win this race, I'd say you're crazy. I mean, we were looking at numbers under that last yellow, and I knew if you could pit there, you could make it. It wasn't looking great, but I just decided to go for it, and the numbers worked. So, yeah, that was it.
That moment when the numbers actually don't lie. What was it like getting through? Because you were mired in the mid-pack for a good portion of the beginning of this race, and then you found a way to get up in front and stay there. But how difficult was it maneuvering through this field?
Yeah, that was tough. I found out early on getting a real early lift into 3 and a roll in down to the bottom was the best way that I could find any air. And so I kind of used that the whole race, and especially right there at the end when I needed to save fuel and I needed to be on a low map and I needed to stay with the leaders. That's just kind of what I learned that whole time.
Well, we take a week off next week, and then we head to the short track at Richmond. Do you think at the first short track of the season, you think you can make it 3 for 3?
I don't know. I didn't think it was going to be 2 for 2. Richmond's going to be a weird race with, I would expect the setup's probably going to be kind of similar to this, except now we're on a short track. So you never know. It would be great, but you don't know.
Well, as you do. Chad, anyone you want to thank here before we let you go?
Got Black Flag Photography, our sponsor for this race. We have Sim Motion, Virtual Racing School, Satellite Racing, FBR Motorsports, Maradness, Ellis Engineering, all my teammates, the admins, you guys with the broadcast. Just thanks to everybody for doing this, and thanks to the fan club. We're 2 for 2. I still have no fuel after we finish, so I still can't do any donuts. But one day, maybe I'll be able to celebrate a win.
Well, an incredible run, and what a way to save fuel. Your race winner tonight, Chad Simpson, 2 for 2 in Season 5. Bud, congratulations.
Thanks, Bud.
There's a multi-win driver in every season that we had on ESPN and SRM right up until last season when we weren't broadcasting them, and now he goes 2 for 2 in our return. So maybe it is something. with us broadcasting is we'll go now to our second place finisher, Yari Brawpatcher. Greg is with him.
Yari, second place, man. Tell us about your night.
Yeah, that was an race. And lots of fuel saving, and I was hoping Chad would run out of fuel, but he did such a great job. And yeah, so second, my debut for this season. So pretty happy with how it went. Unfortunately, couldn't run last week.
Yeah, you said, like you said, this is your first one in. That's a heck of a way to enter, such a competitive league as this. You come in a second place finish. You were running down Simpson at the end there. I know you were hoping he wasn't gonna, but did you think there was any chance that he had saved enough fuel?
Well, it's not my league debut, just the season debut.
Oh, my bad.
No problem. I was starting to think when I saw that he was laying back that he was probably also going to save fuel. It was a risky call for me to take that last pit stop, but as it turned out, I guess it was the right call. I don't think I could have saved as much fuel as Chad obviously did without topping off.
Absolutely. We saw some guys struggling tonight here with this setup. How is this car handling for you? We saw you able to move around a lot more than some other guys were. Was that how you would tweak the setup, or was that what this track was able to give you?
Yeah, I just did minor bar adjustments to the car. Not really much. I like when the setup is a little loose. I don't know if you saw it, but once I got really loose coming out of, I think it was turn 2 or turn 4? I don't even remember, but it was definitely very much on the loose side, and that's why I preferred running the high line, because it had less of a tendency to come around and spin. So it was difficult to drive, but I think it made for good racing, and it was possible to make overtakes.
You go from 2 fast tracks at Auto Club in Kentucky, and we go to a short track here in 2 weeks at Richmond. What are you expecting in that race? Anything yet?
I'm not too fond of short tracks, but Richmond is one I usually do quite well. So hoping maybe another top 5 will be up for the grabs.
Well, Yari, congrats again on your second place finish, man. Heck of a run here tonight. Is there anybody you got to shout out and thank for tonight's race?
Yeah, just want to thank everybody participating and everybody watching. It's great to see people on YouTube enjoying what we do, and yeah, just thanks to everybody involved, to you guys broadcasting as well.
Thanks again, Yari. Congrats again on your second place finisher here tonight. Frank, I think we've got our third place finisher coming up into the booth now in Glazer, and I think you're with them.
Yes, I am. Bentley Glazer, third place finisher tonight. Boy, it appeared as though you had been pretty set out in third position, but then that last lap really caught up to Yari. Were you able to save enough fuel and you got to a point where you knew you were fine, or how did that last couple laps come out?
Yeah, that's what happened. I should have maybe turned it up to engine mode 1 maybe a lap sooner, because I was a lap to the good, but I don't think I might have been able to get second, but I don't know. But very happy with third. I was up front for a while and feeling good, and then I pitted just because I wanted to have the fuel, and it was really hard to go through the pack. I didn't really make much progress. And then the fuel strategy thing came in, so that helped.
Now, in Season 2, your first season with this series, you came away with the victory at this racetrack. How different would you say it has been here from Season 5 to Season 2, from just handling car competition? I'm sure it's been a lot different.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And the setups that Butch and everybody make for this league are amazing. It's what, everyone wants to drive a good car. So that really makes it fun. And then everyone just really hard, clean racers around here. So yeah, I hope to have some more good runs. I hope to win one. I've only got one. It's really hard, so I'll be trying.
Yeah, it's quite interesting to see you in a position like this instead of where you are usually on Tuesday nights up in front. 2 weeks from now, we head to Richmond Raceway. What are your thoughts going into the short track?
It'll be interesting. I like the short tracks in these Indy cars, and I don't really like Richmond, but I might like it in these, and I like them in Iowa, so they're pretty similar. So it might be fun.
All right. Anyone you want to thank before we let you go and celebrate a podium finish, bud?
I gotta thank you guys for broadcasting, SRE for having me, Tim Bates and all my teammates at OGR, and thank Purple Heart Homes, a nonprofit organization that helps disabled veterans.
All right, bud. Bentley Glazer, your third place finisher tonight. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, and Greg, with that, round number 2 in the books, and to just highlight what Bentley was saying there, how he likes Iowa, like tracks like Iowa. Started on pole last season at Iowa and finished third, so a very good run for him. Just to highlight that, and just another great night of really close racing, especially up at the front. No one really able to get away from each other. And that's what these bigger ovals have brought out in this series.
Yeah, it was fantastic seeing this place since it's progressed over the years, going from a one groove to a multi groove, where we saw guys down at the yellow line, in 1 and 2, and then they were at the wall in 3 and 4. So Kentucky really put on some great racing. I love being up here in the booth and watching these guys. It was fantastic seeing these guys wheel these cars around this place lap after lap after lap, putting on fantastic racing from the drop of the green flag. We didn't see a single lap where there was not some sort of 2 wide, 3 wide battle happening, aside for when we were under yellow.
It was a very, very entertaining night from start to finish here to close out round number 2 of the season. And right now we will go to the finishing results here for tonight's race. Your race winner, again, 2 for 2, Chad Simpson taking the race win. Yari Brupatcher, Bentley Glazer finishing in the top 3. Tim Bates and Butch Davis rounding out the top 5. Lyle Swearingen, Michael Sturgill, Dan Brazington, Chris Samard, and Mike Grandy round out the top 10. Jeffrey Roulette, Mark McFadden, Nick Starling, Kevin O'Brien, and Chris Walker rounding out the top half of the field. And by the way, due to late race pit stops, Michael Sturgill in 7th, the last driver to finish on the lead lap.
Behind Walker is Jake Walsh. Yari Brupatcher finishes 13th after being up front. Wait a minute. Nope, I'm on the wrong one. Ignore this, man. Ignore me.
Reed Sweeney.
Don't look at... Yeah.
Reed Sweeney finishing 16th. Jake Walsh coming home 17th. Dan Inch, Tyler Vickery, and Joe Brickey rounding out the top 20. Ronnie Osmer coming home in 21st. Brett Beasley, Nate Siefker, Timothy Emanuele. Thank you again for the title sponsor for the race tonight. And Shane Loveridge rounding out the top 25. Sam Cooper Bennett, Carl Burke, Mike Rigney, Jeffrey Bogan, William Fletcher, and Jeff Hollingsworth rounding out the field. The drivers in the bottom 18 not finishing, bottom 18 tonight, not completing all 167 laps here this evening. Coming up on Sim Racing Media, coming up, we have one race tomorrow. That will be the Circle B Diecast Super Speedway Series, round number 2 of the season at Talladega in the Cup cars. That'll be an 8:20 p.m. Eastern Time start. After that, on Saturday, we have 2 races. Coming up at 4:50 p.m. Eastern Time will be the ISNF Cup Series All-Star Race from Chicagoland Speedway, and then the nightcap for tomorrow night will be the Super Late Model AI Series. That will be at Five Flags, season finale for Season 1. 5 drivers in the hunt for the championship as we complete the final 200 laps of the season on Saturday night. That will premiere at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Then on Sunday, a quick turnaround for the ISNF Cup Series. They go points racing once again, 4:50 p.m. Eastern Time at Darlington for round number 7 of the season. About an hour or so after that race completes, will be Sunday Night NASCAR. They will also be at Darlington. And coming up on Monday, the championship round for Season 12 of the CleanRacing.net Truck Series. They will be at Darlington also. So I hope you guys like Darlington racing, because you're going to be seeing a lot of it on the network here in the upcoming days. So for my broadcast partner, Greg McConey, I am Frank Marchese. Thank you very much for joining us. We will see you in 2 weeks for round number 3 at Richmond. Good night, everybody.